Yep, we're the Alvarez family. There's Sylvia right there. And Emma. And Noah. And yeah, that's me. And yeah, we're going to Cuba. If you plan on going to Cuba, one of the first things you should do is talk to someone who's been there, so they can give you some helpful tips. Most of it won't do any good. In our case, it was my dad, Beeple. Beeple was born in Cuba in 1924. He loves his 2 tacos from Taco Bell and his coffee. And he was the president of the San Gabriel Cuban Club. And these were some of his better tips. These were some of his better tips.
Necesidad. Y entonces la gente hace cualquier cosa por los dólares. Tienen que tener mucho cuidado. Ustedes van a un mundo extraño que no conocen. Tienen que tener mucha precaución. Los taxistas son unos hijos de la chingada. Eso se lo das a Daniel.
He then entrusted me with an envelope for my cousin Daniel, whom I've never met. And with that, he was off to bed. Thanks, people. I love you. So we packed our essentials, like our snacks, toffee-covered peanuts, pork rinds, beef jerky, assorted flavored popcorns, and this well, not that one. Our bags were packed, our portable chargers were charged, and the envelope was ready to go. So after a few hours of sleep, we woke up. So finally, we were off. We packed ourselves into the family car, and at the airport, made our way to gate 65B, waiting for flight 237 to Cuba. And here we go! Oh, wait. Sylvia makes a last-minute call to her mother, letting her know what a great husband and father I am. While the kids and I waited patiently to take off. And here we go! After flying over the States and Noah's nap, we got our first glimpse of Cuba. This was our first picture in Cuba. And this was my first step on Cuban soil. This is the street our Airbnb house was on. If you go to visit Cuba, I say screw the hotels. Try Airbnb. They're usually cheaper, and you get a more honest feel for the country. Ours came with a living room, 2 bedrooms. They do the beds. That was shot later on in our trip. And the kitchen, that's in the back. You can't see it because they're kind of arguing there. Whoa! Ouch! One of the first things I noticed, aside from the cars, are the buildings. Architecture here is beautiful. You have buildings from the 1920s, 30s, 15th century. You have a church a few hundred years old. Historical buildings. Buildings celebrities stayed in. Buildings that'll hold parliament. And iconic buildings. But among the beautiful buildings, there are those that have not survived Cuba's poverty. I tried to talk to a local architect, but he gave me the stiff shoulder. And yes, of course, the cars. The really nice convertibles are for the tourists. You pay about $30 to $50 and they drive you around La Habana Vieja. The more beat-up cars belong to the local taxi drivers. Now, time for churros! Another thing you see a lot of in Cuba is propaganda. They never let the Cuban people forget about the revolution. Be aware, things like eggs, sugar, and sponges might be hard to find, and the money can be confusing. Luckily, we had our Airbnb host, Giovanni, help us out. He and his wife Yolanda were kind and a great help. Here, Giovanni helps us with the currency to buy some eggs.
Exactamente, ya. Porque tiene yo cambio también, pero a lo mejor no es demasiado. No, con esto ya. ¿Sí? Con esto ya.
When you change your dollars, a majority of it should be into CUCs, sort of like a tourist money, and more or less equal to $1. This is the peso, Cuba's national currency. This is what the Cubans use in day-to-day business. It's a good idea to change a small portion of your dollars to pesos, since some mom-and-pop places only take pesos. It takes roughly about 25 pesos to make one CUC. You can exchange money at the airport, some hotels, or you can find someone like this guy, whose uncle can get you a good rate at the back of his barbershop. Once you get your money, like I said, some things might be difficult to find. Here, Giovanni gets in line for us to get us some eggs. You can expect to find lines everywhere. For the bank, for soap and bathroom items, for the grocery store, or for the monthly ration of soda. Yeah, ration of soda. The Cuban people have food rationed to them on a monthly basis, which they still have to pay for. The grocery store and meat market are located here. This was the closest thing we saw to a shopping center. Another thing that's hard to find here is water pressure.
Hey, it's my cousin Daniel. He couldn't stay very long because he said his town was quarantined due to some fever. So he just took the envelope and... Okay, well, bye. Nice meeting you. But he did take us to a quick trip to the Plaza de la Revolucion, where we got to see these iconic images. And the kids had fun. But even though I didn't get to meet the rest of my cousins or see where my family lived, I wasn't too heartbroken. Because I was in Cuba, and there was still a lot more to see.